Yes. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, we're here to talk Liverpool's move for Jamal Lewis. Willian to Arsenal, according to the media, is done. Nathan Ake to Man City, done. Just waiting on a medical now in relation to completing that. Want your views. I want your opinions on these deals that are going ahead. Any other questions you've got, get your super chats in now and we'll go through them. You can see lots of people already in the live comment section. If you're watching the playback, thank you. Leave your comments below in relation to these stories. But the most important thing to do for this platform, you're here for a reason, is hit the like button. Please share this on your social media streams and make sure you subscribe. We're closing in on 150,000 subscribers here at the Football Terrace. So a big thank you to all of you that have helped to make that possible. A lot of people talking about the Sancho deal in the comments. We'll catch up on Sancho a bit later, but listen, man, the deal's fine. Any Man United fan crying or panicking or worrying about the Sancho deal, you're off your nuts. You're off your nuts. That deal is absolutely fine. But let's start off by talking about Nathan Ake. His move to Manchester City is done. Everything has been agreed. It's going to be around 43 million euros, around the 40 million pound mark for the player. As I've already stated, hugely over the medium valuation price of Nathan Ake. I suppose we always ask these questions. Is he worth 40 million pounds? How much is he going to improve the Man City defense by? And everyone's going to have, for me, I look at him as a good player, but I still think of Nathan Ake as a backup at a top six club. I really do. I don't think, I think he's a bit overhyped in the set. I think he's good. I think he's worth 30 million. If you pay 30 mil, cool. 40 million is overpriced. But in this market, everybody's paying up. Generally speaking, is paying above the odds for players that they're going in for as a general rule. City, we all know, are absolutely desperate for centre backs. John Stones hasn't worked out at all. Laporte, he's got injury concerns. That boy is always out. Everybody else at the club, you know, Fernandinho has been one of the main centre-backs this year, and he's not a centre-back. So it makes complete and utter sense for them to get this deal done. That'll be formalised. You'll see him hold a picture holding the shirt very, very soon as well. And that'll kind of be done. That'll be it. That'll be over in relation to that. Arsenal's move for Willian here. It says Willian expects his future to be resolved quickly. But is resigned to leaving Chelsea with no sign of his contract demands being met by the Blues. What's a real interesting element when it comes to the... by the way, just answered the phone there to Mike. Mike, stay on the line. We'll be with you in a moment. What's interesting with the Willian deal is you've got some Arsenal fans that are painting this picture that Willian has rejected Chelsea. But the more you read into it, the more you can see that Chelsea offered a 2-year deal over 6 months ago. Willian said that he wanted 3. Chelsea have said no to that, so the deal's falling apart. Willian wants to stay at Chelsea, but he just wants a 3-year contract, and they're not willing to offer him a 32-year-old, who he will be 32 next week, a deal of that length. But Willian to Arsenal looks almost done, almost complete, almost over the line. So from that point of view, it'll be an interesting one to see how that goes and to see how that kind of transpires and kind of comes to fruition in relation to that. But it's as I say, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be it's being spun. That's what I'm seeing with this more than anything else. I'm seeing it being spun massively by Arsenal fans at the moment, which I think we can kind of expect. But as far as you can see, this is Willian being rejected by Chelsea, not Willian being rejected, not Willian rejecting them. It's as simple as that for me. Why does the stream keep cutting? I don't know. What do you mean keeps cutting? You got to remember, guys, that doesn't make any sense. Nothing wrong with the Wi-Fi. Just set the box. Cool. Just refresh your stream. A lot of people saying the stream is fine. It's fine my end. There's been no disconnections at all. If it keeps cutting, just refresh. Well, sometimes I love you guys, but sometimes you come out with the most. Just refresh the stream, and it'll be absolutely fine. We got TD Shifts on the line. TD Shifts, what do you want to say, bro?
Hey, Terry, can you hear me for starters?
Always, just go for it, mate.
Okay, cool. The first thing I want to talk about is like yesterday you were talking about transfers and everything else, and I just wanted to say quickly, like, because I know you don't have a lot of time, so I just want to quickly go through a few things, right? And I'll touch on Jamal Lewis and Willian and Ake as well. The first thing I want to say is that Højbjerg apparently looks like he's going to Spurs. Batman looks like he might be signing a 250k a week contract with up to add-ons up to 300k a week. Willian looks like it's almost done. Obviously, you spoke about Nathan Ake to Man City as well. Torres is apparently been announced by Man City as well, so that looks like that's gone through. Obviously, you spoke about Jamal. You haven't spoken about Jamal Lewis, and I think that kid's very, very talented, and he will give Robertson backup in terms of when obviously they want to rotate the squad and everything else. As well, so I think he's quite talented, obviously, and then you obviously touched upon obviously Sancho to Man United as well. So, which as I said, I think he's a great player as well. So, overall, I think there's a lot of big signings going in, and with the Willian thing, I sort of thought about it a bit more, and I think personally for me, I think he's a better player than Reece Nelson, and I think he will be rotated like as a bench player to bring on. So, and I think he's very, very gifted. So, I'm not happy about it, but I think I can see where he could come in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just ladies and gentlemen, I've just checked the stream out myself. Yeah, it does keep ending like it's over. Stop commenting about it. I've just with this email. YouTube have just sent an email through to everybody. They're having problems with their live streaming. Nothing I can do about it. So just relax. It's nothing to do with my end. It's a YouTube issue. Why it keeps cutting out. So honestly, it's. I know that if you're leaving comments, it means you're listening. Relax your brains. Seriously, relax your brains. That's it. But yeah, listen, on a lot of the things you said there, a lot of these deals are moving towards being done. I think what I find interesting is I think Willian's a good player, and I think that Chelsea fans so consistently underrate him. But I get... Like, I heard DT talking about how he's rejecting Chelsea for Arsenal, and it's like, what? You don't need that level of spin. Does that make sense? It's all a bit strange in that way. Obviously, Spurs, as you mentioned, Højbjerg, that deal looks like it's almost going to be done. It's fairly cheap as well, around £15 million. It says here that Tottenham looks set to make their first summer signing of the window. The Telegraph reported that this Southampton midfielder is coming in. Is Højbjerg going to make? Is he going to make Tottenham top 4 contenders again? That's the only element about that deal. I look at it and think, is he genuinely that good, or is this just Tottenham cutting corners? Like, he's 25 years old. Like, he's good, but I don't know.
I think Højbjerg is definitely top 6 quality in terms of like the player ability, but I don't see him pushing on, if you get what I mean. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think, like, I think there's no doubt in his quality, but I just don't think, I think he's top 6 quality, but I just don't think he's the next level. Do you get what I mean? Like, yeah. And also, on another note, it looks like Gelson Fernandez might be getting closer to completion as well, on another note. And it looks like Arsenal are in the sort of head pole position for Gabriel Magalhaes as well. So that also came up by Fabrizio Romano the other day as well, and a few other journalists as well. So it looks like they're overtaking Napoli in that sort of race as well. So, which if you're a Napoli fan or a Napoli player, I think, or even the football company, I think you're quite annoyed, because obviously they were looking at Bernd Leno a while ago, they're looking at Torreira a while ago, and now it looks like Gabriel obviously might be coming to Arsenal, and obviously they sign Victor Osimhen. I think that's how you pronounce his name as well. So yeah, so yeah, it might be interesting. So
there we go. TD, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll chat to you again soon,
No
my bro.
worries.
All the best, mate. Thank you. You can call in via Skype. Just search Football Terrace. You'll find us on there. No problems whatsoever in relation to getting that done. God, it's mad, right? So there's some people that I've blocked off this channel, but they were part of groups that we initially we called them in, right? And what's weird with Skype, what it's an absolute cluster fuck from their end. If you essentially, if you have people in group chats, even if you block them from the from being able to call in, they can call via the old group chats. It's mad. It's an absolute mess their end. But yes, we're going to talk Liverpool here. Jamal Lewis, Melissa Reddy, David Lynch spoke about this deal last night, that Liverpool are going to be submitting a £10 million bid for the left back. And listen, £10 million for him, in my opinion, is an absolute snip. Top quality player, so much potential, great backup to Robertson. What I do find interesting, though, is the youth at Liverpool. Because Liverpool have got left backs and right backs and central midfielders and attacking midfielders from their academy that have been raved about for months by Liverpool fans. The vast majority are not going to make it at Liverpool. One or two tops, you know, and you've seen that by the kind of players that Liverpool are looking to buy. The centre back, right back, full back covers are all purchase players that they're looking at, sort of between the £8 and £12 million markers, and as an example. So I think it's an interesting one from that point of view. But I would love your opinions on him. Give us a call right now. We've got James Tarry on the line. What do you want to say, James?
Yeah, man, it's me, number 13.
Why have you made another account?
Man, I don't know why I'm just coming on here and telling my opinions.
But
I think everyone likes my opinions anyways.
Well, you'll only get blocked if you come on here and you're disrespectful to myself on the platform.
Yeah, well, what did I do? I did nothing. Come on, Terry.
Right. What do you want to say? What's your opinion? What do you want to say?
So, for Liverpool, I'm a Liverpool fan, of course. Jamal Lewis will be a crazy signing, yeah? Jamal Lewis is like sauce. He's perfect for that left-back position. Him and Andrew Robertson, and Trent and thing on the other side, Nico Williams, is perfect. Fullbacks, we have the best pairing of fullbacks in the world. But we still need more players. You know, I think still need a centre back. We need a midfielder. Probably need an attacker to swap out for Mane and Salah. If we do that, I think we'll win the league again. Especially like attacker for sure, because Origi and Shaqiri is just not good enough. But in terms of the league next season, there's a few theories I have, Terry, for the winner of next season.
Right.
So I did a big research the other day, a very big research, and there's a few possible winners of the Premier League. So I looked at the seasons where it's like 1980, 1981, 1970, 1971, those kind of seasons, 1960, 1961. Like this season will be 2020, 2021. Last time at 2010, 2011, Manchester United won the Premier League. And then 1910, 1911, Manchester United won the Premier League. Right. Burnley won it at 1920, 1921.
Right.
So there's a slight chance of Burnley winning it. And then we come.
See ya. Absolutely dreadful. 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 Absolutely dreadful. Dreadful. I don't even know what to say other than dreadful. Dark Side User back with us. What you saying, bro?
Hello, Terry, mate. How are you doing?
I'm very good, mate. What do you want to speak about?
Well, obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so first.
Jamal Lewis. What you saying? What are you saying about the Jamal Lewis deal?
I think it's an exciting little deal. I think Liverpool have got the market on finding these little £10 gems that a lot of clubs overlook, and I think if he does well, he'll be the next, to take over from what's his name again, Robertson. I think it's a good cover for him. I think I'm a bit more happy now with what I'm hearing And obviously on Monday night, I watched that Klopp show on Channel 4,
Mm.
and it gave me an insight of how they're looking at their transfers.
And how? Yeah, explain that to us, please.
Well, the player has to fit the bill. He has to fit the model in every aspect. You know, you got some player, and you think, why aren't you getting him? But maybe there's a reason why he doesn't fit Liverpool's model of the physicality. Like you're saying yesterday with Matip, his body keeps on breaking down. And I think Klopp's learnt a few things from his Borussia Dortmund days of the burnout of certain players.
Yeah. What's interesting about you saying that is, you know, a lot of people are raving about Man United at the minute because there's a character assessment as much as a technical and a physical assessment. And what I would say is this: what Liverpool are doing is an innovative. There are elements to it that are like the sort of the kind of the scouting approach and the sort of statistical approach they use to determine whether a person has the output ability to come and play for them. That element is very good. I wouldn't say innovative because obviously somebody's invented it. Liverpool, it's only innovative if Liverpool invent the concept. They bought the concept, which is fine, by the way. There isn't an attack at Liverpool. But all good clubs that have good transfer policies that do well buy for the right reasons, as you say. It's we need a set, and I don't know what they're looking for because we're not privy to that information. But if you need a centre back that ticks sort of a certain 10 boxes on the attribute level, you have to make sure they've got all those attributes. Then you have to ensure they're going to be the right fit. Their behaviour is right. Their teamwork is right. Do they pull together in times of hardship? Whatever it may be, you do your background, you do your due diligence on these people, you know, and and that way you know what you get. And the thing is, it's interesting in life because, you know, back in the day, you used to be able to do lots of due diligence on people that you were employing in your company. That's almost become illegal. You can't ask people questions about their personal life. But I think questions about somebody's personal life can often tell you a lot more about whether they're going to be good employees for you or not, you know, in terms of the amount of people that I employed, that I remember saying to the organization I work for that they're going to be a loose cannon, this person, based on some of the personal things they said. And they were like, well, you have to disregard that. You can only judge them on these. So they got the jobs because they ticked all the boxes, but they were nightmare employees. And I think that that's something that Jurgen Klopp's done very, very well at Liverpool. He signed the right type of person. And fans, again, we have our preferences. It's always based on who we find aesthetically pleasing or who has massive outputs. But that character, that person at this moment could be detrimental to the inner workings of the club. And I think Jamal Lewis would be an excellent signing. I've always felt Liverpool would sign 2 or 3 players. And, you know, if you can pick up a Jamal Lewis for £10 million, when you're looking at how much money, like how much better is Ben Chilwell than Jamal Lewis in terms of ceiling? Not much. And they want 60 million pound for him. Jamal Lewis at £10 million is an absolute snip.
Yeah, and also as well, and it's like just jumping across, Man United now are going back to that old way of thinking, because I always used to argue with my mates about Man United about certain players. You used to have world-class players, but you used to have some average players, but their mindset under Fergie made them elevate above their ceiling of ability. And I say this to my mates. I say, well, you look at certain Man United players. When Fergie's done with them, where do they go? They go to the bottom tier of the Premiership. No big clubs are coming in for them because they're in the cold light of day. They're box standard players, but their mindset under Fergie made them that better player, and that's what Klopp's gotten with his players now. It's that ability and that mindset that no matter what the situation is, you're not fazed by it.
Yeah, no, mate, I completely and I just couldn't agree with you more in relation to that, mate. We've added Kai back to the call. Kai, what you saying, bro? I want to get your opinion on something. Kai, Arsenal fans are saying that Willian rejected you for them. What's your opinion on that, mate?
They're saying, I'm sorry, you cut off there.
So Arsenal fans are claiming that Willian has rejected Chelsea to join Arsenal.
Willian was basically crying to Brazilian TV to get a 3-year deal, and basically Chelsea were telling him, "Nah, man, we're signing superstars. There's no place for you. You're 32 years old, man. You're gonna get a 3 years old, a 3-year contract. You're gonna be 35." They didn't even offer Lampard that a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
also, DT, DT is like that ex, that still is in love with you. She just cuts pictures off you and put them together with herself. You know, remembering the good old time that Arsenal was still relevant. When is the last time Arsenal took a player from Chelsea that Chelsea didn't want to sell?
That's a good point. You can't argue with the logic. It's right. But I enjoy the banter. I enjoy the attempts at people trying to kind of push these notions. But yeah, as you say, this for me is purely Willian being. If Chelsea come out and offered him a 3-year deal tomorrow, he's staying.
Yeah, but they want.
No, I mean, I think Arsenal are mad if they give him a 3-year deal. Like genuinely,
35,
genuinely think they are mad if they offer him a 3-year deal at 100,000. And again, it's nowhere near the money that Ozil's being paid. But for me, it would just represent. It's just stupid to give a player of that age, who's towards the end of his career, that kind of contract. And the only I keep saying this with Arsenal fans: don't get overly gassed. I still think he could be coming in because you could be losing the experience of Aubameyang, and then if that ends up happening, if you bring Willian in and Aubameyang leaves, it's not a great swap. Like in terms of 1 in, 1 out, it really isn't. I mean, it's like cashing in Michelle Keegan for Jody Marsh. It's just not right. But there we go.
I have a friend who's an Arsenal fan, and we were basically talking about this yesterday. And he was basically saying he's not a deluded Arsenal fan at all. You know, he admits that Arsenal has problems, and he was saying to me that for them, Willian is an upgrade in what they have, and it's a player that if he wasn't coming on the free, they wouldn't be able to get due to his quality and due to the fact that Arsenal is finishing now and they're going to play Europa League for 4 seasons in a row, and they're finished 8th. So you can see kind of like that AC Milan kind of downfall where they can no longer attract the best players, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that completely, and I think it's the reason why Aubameyang. I mean, they signed Aubameyang, and I think when him and Lacazette came in, the hope was that those guys were going to push them back into the top 4, and it hasn't happened, and they're a long way off of it, Arsenal. And I'll praise Mikel Arteta. I think he's made them a better football team. I think he's given them better structure than they've had for 5, 6, 7 years, even longer. I love the fact that he doesn't try and go toe to toe with the big teams. He plays past the park the bus, pragmatic, low block football, because that's where the level that Arsenal are at now when it comes to the top 6. And by the way, that's how Man United played against the top 6 for the majority of the season. There's nothing wrong with it. It's about playing within your means, and I think that people, need to understand that.
But doesn't the hypocrisy of Arsenal fans kind of get to you, Because remember when Mourinho was winning title after title with this tactics, and they were like, boring Chelsea. And now they're like, it's winning football. So it's all fun,
Well, that's football fans for you. I've even seen Man United fans praise Mikel Arteta for doing it, but the same people attack Oli for doing it. It's weird. It's like, I look at what, I've always said I wouldn't want Diego Simeone at Man United because I don't want to play that way. However, if Man United sign Diego Simeone, I'll back that style of football because I know that's how he plays. The thing with Mikel Arteta, I remember. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you were watching my show back then, but when he signed for Arsenal, I said, there's all these people out there doing all these. This is how we're going to play videos. I mean, they're all wrong so far, because no one knew how Mikel Arteta was going to play football because he'd never managed a team before. And I think some Arsenal fans could be in for a shock. I do think that you're going to see a team that will play good football against the bottom half, play decent football against the middle part, but play low block football against the top teams, especially if you start to see the signings of all top young players and then elder statesmen like the Willians of this world. That's how they play. You look at that Arsenal team now. They're front three, to be fair, that they've got now. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. It's quite potent. That's a little scary. But it's great for counter-attack football. You can get the ball up to Lacazette quickly that can hold it up and play the other 2 in, or you break quickly by knocking the ball into the channels for Pepe and Aubameyang. You're not breaking the bigger teams down if you're overly attacking them because you don't have the creative midfielders, in my opinion. Your fullbacks are decent. You've even created a system where Tierney's now playing as a centre back because you need that good defensive cover. And by the way, that's all fine. That's how they're going to have to play until Arsenal start signing grade A players. And as far as I can see, they're not linked with any grade A players. There is the Gabriel connection, and I know he's linked to Man United. The jury's out on him. I don't know how good or how bad he really is. There are a lot of people that think that Arsenal and Man United.
He's not great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are saying that Man United and Arsenal are being used to get a better deal out of Everton for him, and that tells you sort of everything. But yeah, I think Arsenal fans have just got to relax a little bit. You know, Arsenal, that they did well to win the cup the other day. That needs to be congratulated. I just feel
and
like
to the referee as well.
Yeah, well, you know me, I don't blame referees for anything. I think Chelsea let up that day. Chelsea were poor, but I think
we got out of injury.
and I get that, and I just sort of and you know what, Laurie Nix is here. Arsenal were the original boring team under George Graham, and they only became this beautiful attacking team under Arsene Wenger. And this is what I'm saying to anyone who's like, I'm not attacking this new way. I just want, but the only thing I'm saying is, and that's why I'm glad Arsenal did win the FA Cup. And I said it in my preview video. I'm already seeing Arsenal fans get too ahead of themselves going into next season. We're going to finish top 4. We're going to do this. And it's like, fine, you think that, because for me, if you don't sign the same level quality that Chelsea, Man United, and City are going to sign this summer, I think it's impossible for you to make it into the top 4 next year. I think it's genuinely impossible.
Yeah. Arsenal fans are the kind of people that clap when planes land. Every time they get like some player that they remember when they signed what's his name, the Argentinian guy, the little Argentinian guy, and they were saying he's better than Kante.
Uruguayan, Torreira, yeah.
Torreira, yeah. Sorry, I was like, come on. They're extremely delusional, you know. And then they and I'm glad they finally play counter-attacking football, you know, matching their league possession, you know. It's like. Arsenal is just a gift that keeps on giving, you know. And if it wasn't for them, then we don't have the banter that we have now, you know. So
this is pretty true. Listen, Kaya, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll chat to you again soon. Take care. Thank you. And listen, I ain't disrespecting Arsenal. I respect them as a football club, but get down off this, climb down from this sort of tree you're standing on and shouting from at the minute, because you could end up feeling quite embarrassed in a few months' time. You really, really could. You really, really could. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, thank you very, very much. As always, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Back later on today. Of course, Man United playing this evening as well. We'll be live for that. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.